All right, let's make this full screen. Oh, my phone is a little crooked on TikTok. Turn the mouse on. Let's see what we get. Okay, here we are. Yikes on a bike. Yikes on a bike. Waiting for more people to get in the live on YouTube. Recap of the live trade today. So we didn't take any trades today, and it feels good because a lot of people on Twitter didn't take trades today. A lot of gurus didn't take trades today. So here's our 950 to 1010 macro here. Traded sideways on the, so basically on the chart, this is a 1 hour liquidity point, 1 hour for, I mean, this is just a liquidity point, a higher time frame, it doesn't matter. And then we have a 1 hour fair value gap, and then we had a 4 hour fair value gap and a liquidity point here, right? So I'm proud of myself for patience and like not taking trades. However, let's talk about some stuff today. So yesterday I got faked out on a trade like this where I got a inverted fair value gap for a continuation play, and then it just swept liquidity here and then went down to actually invert my bias to go the way I wanted to go. It just was opposite of this. Like it came down, did this, and then went back up the rest of the day, right? And I'm sticking to playing reversals. I should have stayed on the chart for this trade though, however, my bias was still strong at this time because here we had, here was my target. It's still 2 to 8 though, which is a decent risk to reward, so I should have took it. But I wanted it to sweep this liquidity and then we go lower. We were out of this 4 hour fair value gap, out of this 1 hour fair value gap. I wanted us to close below it. I should have maybe switched my bias, but it was very choppy. We didn't really get displacement until this. So I did mark this, but I got off the chart, I think, at this time, at like right before 11 o'clock, which I should have just played the continuation or look, this was the trade of the day. This is why we're talking about how I can guess the markets like 90% of the time. Do I play it 90% of the time? No. We went up to the 4 hour fair value gap, which I just didn't think was going to happen today. It's so far, but hey, if you played it, you played it, but no one really did. I did call this trade live, and I said you guys can take it. However, with the choppiness of this morning, I think everyone was scared to take it. Like, this was just a shit show. And even this move here that gave us, even though I called it out, we're kind of still in the range. Like, we weren't really... We still moved out of the range here, but it wasn't much out of the range for us to be like, oh, we're really going up. However, this would have probably been the trade most people should have taken, because we did get a full candle close above. We got a full displacement candle above. Because I've said that we're going to do a continuation play. It's not just an invert, because our bias was strong. We need a real break of structure to continue enter here on this fair value gap. And that would have been the trade we should have taken. I did get off. And I did say I want to stay on until 12 o'clock. This was 11:10 Eastern time. So we had 9:50 to 10:10 macro. I marked the 10:50 to 11:10 macro with 11 o'clock here, which is the end of the silver bullet hour. And then this would have been the trade you probably would have taken. Because this was the next liquidity point. So, I mean, it definitely was going to go here. It's just so far I thought it wasn't going to happen today. And it did. So this is a play where yesterday I did get faked out. And I've noticed that about the market. It'll fake you out one day and then it will play out in the way it faked you out the day before. So it faked us out on an inverted fair value gap continuation play, and then it gave us an inverted fair value gap continuation play. It loves to play in your face like that. However, scared money don't make money. I was actually really disappointed in myself for not taking this trade, especially if I was getting off the charts. But I was proud of myself for being patient, not getting faked out, waiting for all these candles to close, because this one almost got me. But you have to wait for a candle close, because look, it ran all the way down here. This was a big white candle. It looked like this until it just wicked up on us and candle closed blue, like literally flipped into a blue candle. And then we had SMT at first for the longest. Like all this choppiness was, let's show it on ES. So all this choppiness was in here. So at this point, let me move this one to the 1 hour. This is why I like SMT, but I don't. And I think today we're gonna backtest just SMT, is finding it on the chart. Is this the 1 hour? Oh yeah, okay, I see. I'm like, where is, okay, so at this point in time, this candle has swept the previous 1 hour candle at like 9 to 10 p.m. However, when this candle, for the majority of this candle, we had not swept this pink line on ES. That's why it was giving SMT. It was giving like this high was like down here, and then in Q we had took it, and that's why like SMT, I'm like, you don't even really, you see SMT, but it doesn't really play out until after your move half the time. Yesterday we got an SMT before our entry. It was this. Yesterday we got a candle close on ES, and on NQ it did not candle close. As you see, we're higher at 9 o'clock, but by the time we got on for our trade at 9:50, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't even know. Well, this day we would have known because this was the 9 o'clock candle, and then it ran up. But technically, this candle, the 9 to 10 candle, could have done all this and still came and swept liquidity. That's why it's like, it's hard to catch SMT in real time. It's kind of like you have to like let it do its thing. Any guide, Discord, Telegram? No. I just trade live on here and YouTube. I don't have a Discord or a Telegram. You can just DM me on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube, or you can just watch these lives and ask me questions in the live. I will have a Discord, but I don't really have Discord until I'm consistently trading good on live, because I want to trade live. I don't want to do call outs, and I want to charge for my Discord. So it won't be free when I have one. So I want to make sure it's legit and I'm legit before I start asking for people's money. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so it was like, I called this. I should have stayed and gotten this trade. However, I am sticking to reversals. But if it's clear, like we saw that was clear today, no inverted candles to the downside. We were waiting on them. But I do think the choppiness, and even the choppiness of this, could be like, why do I want to get in this? Because this choppiness could have been like, we could reverse at any time. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what it looks like on a 5 minute. But I did call that trade. I called the trade, and it wound up being the trade of the day. Okay, so yes, even on 5 minute, we just have this like trade, and then we got this nice big fair value gap on the 5 minute. Let me mark it out for y'all if y'all can't see it. We have this big fair value gap here. We didn't never tap back into it, but I guess after this candle closed, you could have gotten some buys. Your trade wouldn't have been as clean as on the 1 minute, but it would have been like something like this with a kind of bigger stop loss, which is not fun, but that was the trade. And it is still like these undecisive candles, but a lot of gurus didn't take trades today, so it did make me feel better. However, me calling it out before getting off the chart does not make me feel as good. I was on the chart and I said, look at this inverted value gap. But I also, on what was it, like last Monday, there was a day where all the gurus took this trade and it went up to like here and then reversed on them. They got a loss. So you just never know. My bias was pretty strong, but I guess that would have been a good day for watching, because we were kind of going up though. The 8:30 trade was better, the reversal, if you call, you know, I like to catch like the bottom of moves. For me, it makes my peace of mind better, and I hold trades better when I catch the bottom. When I get in at the middle, it's just not, because I feel like it can reverse any time. Like you catch it here, it can reverse here. You catch it here, it can reverse here. But you get in here, it could reverse, and you just got in, and now you lost. Like, it's just different. But we did get some confirmations for buys. So, but I'm glad I didn't lose. So it's still a win. I was patient. I was very patient. I lost 70% of my account today. done for a while. See, a lot of us, yeah, like it was like I caught that trade, so I'm proud of myself and I'm mad at myself for not taking it. But the choppiness of today was still not like a oof. Like I know a lot of people got off the chart in an hour, but so I'm sorry you lost 70% of your account today. I know a lot of people did either lose today or just didn't take trades today, and you know what? It's okay. This was a big gap though, so it's like, damn, you just run up all day today. But it did. So hopefully we come out of this tomorrow. Also, I want to show you something about 4-hour fair value gaps that I keep talking about. People love to say you want a strong displacement out of a gap. When it's a big time or higher time frame gap, like a 4-hour, a daily gap, it will come out, come in, come out so many times. Like some people just getting a trade off this. Like it will do whatever it wants. I feel like it should fill it first. But I don't trade like right off a fair value gap on a higher time frame, honestly, because risky business, in my opinion. I'll trade off an hourly one. That's what I was saying today too, like on my live, if y'all were on it. I mean, it was like 3 of us in it, but I was like, if we can just wait for it to close below the hourly one, we didn't even have to get in way up here. We could just wait to confirm, because it could go down here. It could have gone all the way down to almost this point, like not quite come down, invert this. With a candle close, if we're coming all the way down here, it would have definitely candle closed below this. We would have got in, and it could have went all the way down to almost here, and then keep continuing for us. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we kind of were saying, like, with uncertainty, we would just wait for it to come back below this fair value gap. But you know, I'm proud of myself for calling this, and this is why I always suggest trading with me, because you could have took that if you weren't scared to take it, and you could have been like, boom. Love your content. Thank you so much. I just started, I didn't even do lives because I was like, I shouldn't do lives until I'm like, you know, a millionaire. No one's going to give a fuck. But I'm like, no, I saw, what's that guy's name? He's Asian. His name is like Kuethao. He is an unprofitable trader. He's been unprofitable for like 2 years, and he live trades every day. He does live backtests every day, and he has like a good following of people who support him. And I was like, oh, and like, you don't like having that support system, whether you're profitable or not. I was like, I can do that. And also, I swear to God, I'm not like a greedy person. So if everyone in this live wants to start trading live, you should, because I trade so much better on live. It's something about someone watching me that makes me not want to just do dumb shit on live. Sometimes there's trolls on there who are like, just buy, trust me. I'm like, well, maybe, but let me get a confirmation. But half the time I'm like, yo, I'm going to be patient. So let's backtest S&T divergence. I don't even know how to really backtest that because I don't like trading it. But I mean, I like trading it. There's days where I see it and I'm like, hell yeah. But there's days like today where we were. But that also was another confirmation. That's what I meant to show you guys. Once this candle finally closed above this on ES and we had no more S&T divergence, I was like, we're probably going to go up the rest of the day. And it didn't give any clear entries at all, except for that one I marked out, the inverted fair value gap, or this 1 minute fair value gap here. Those were the only entries you got, and I think that's why a lot of people did not take them, because it's still not anyone's favorite, because the invert was great. However, after this choppiness, I don't think anyone was confident in it. That was the problem. If it wasn't choppy here and we just came up, came down, inverted it, it would have been a little better, like the one we had yesterday. See, like it chopped a little bit, but it didn't chop like this. It's a little, even like the move from 830 coming up, it was choppy. You didn't really get any, clean in like entries versus like here we got a better clean fair value gap, and this is the one we all took yesterday. We all took this one yesterday. We love this fair value gap. Here I got faked out by a bullish one, but I don't even see it anymore. Maybe it was on a 5 minute or something. Either way, this is the one we took yesterday, and it rode. It went up to the hills the rest of the day. So that one was cleaner. But hey, no trade is a win. Tanya Trade said it. No trades is a win. So many people said it. And it felt good to. It feels good to be on the right of people who help you learn. Dodgy GD did not take this yesterday though, and I was like, "Whoa, that's crazy! This is your setup, bro." And we all took it, and you didn't take it. But okay, let's look up and try and find SMT. So if you don't know what SMT is, it's when ES are partner pairs. So there's partner pairs in Forex. Honestly, I don't know. Okay, so I think it's like JP, British pound, American dollar with Euro American dollar. But you find pairs that are correlated, right? And then they usually look the same. As you see here, ES looks just the same as NQ. That's what they do. They look alike. So when one makes a lower low and the other one makes a higher low, a higher high, that's when you have S&T and it's confirming a reversal. You know what I'm saying? So that means like the one that made the lower low is the stronger one. The one that made the higher low is the weaker one. And that's why some people trade between the two. I personally do not. I used to, but I did for like a day, but I cannot. I used to trade ES, now I trade NQ, but I can't bounce back and forth. I'll look at them both, but I can't just be bouncing back and forth. I'm not there yet. I tried for a little bit. I had like them both on my Ninja Trader. So let's see if we can find just S&T on different charts. You see, sometimes I'm like, what, like, because technically, this is not S&T. Like, this is a lower low than this one. But they both got swept equally. So it's kind of hard. It's really kind of hard to see until like, it's nice when you get on the charts like it did on yesterday and it's just already there. It's not being printed in real time. Like it's nice when you're on a chart and it's after 9. This whole candle has closed. The 9 o'clock candle has closed. We're in the. Oh no, this candle's actually I lied. This candle is playing out until 10 o'clock. So that's why I'm like, it could have easily swept this. It did not. So we would have already been on our 1 minute time frame looking for a reversal anyway. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, S&T, yes. When you find it and you can spot it. We swept here, and on NQ we did not sweep. When you find it, it's great, but half the time it's happening in real time where it's like you saw it maybe right before your entry. Maybe you'll get it early, but like here, this candle was here. We were already on the 1 minute at 9:50. We were already in this thing at 9:50. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't get the sweep. So by the time 10 o'clock happened, we made a lower low. We made a higher high, I think, on ES. Let's look. Let me get this straight first. But I took this trade without even noticing the S&T divergence, so you don't really need to learn it. What day is this? Monday. Didn't I just draw this line? Like where? Okay, here we go. Okay, so we swept. Okay, no, we both made lower lows and then a little higher high. So this was your cue to get in on, and this is kind of clear. By the time we got to 10 o'clock, which was here, we were still under that inverted fair value gap. Yeah, this is the one that faked me out right here. So once we closed below this, I was scared we were going to continue lower. I got in on this candle close, and then I had a tight stop loss though. So then once we closed above, I just got back in. So this is what faked me out. However, I wouldn't have got faked out if I saw the S&T divergence. See? So it's nice when it comes on before you get on the chart like this, but I can't promise it will always be like that. And I feel like, how often does it even happen? I'm trying to see if we can find some. Cause see, ES is moving better than NQ, whatever day this is. And ES has bigger moves, lower liquidity points. ES is doing its thing on this day, but we don't have any S&T at all. See, they're going together beautifully. We almost had it here. I think we had it here. Okay, so we have a liquidity point here on ES that was taken, but on NQ it was not. So we're reversing, and we did reverse from there with a big ass gap. So that's the S&T. We're like, ES makes a lower low, NQ does not, and this is, so you can solely trade reversals off of this. And a lot of people do. If you can catch them in real time and they come before your setup like it did on Monday, it can be very beautiful. Today's literally Tuesday, and I keep acting like Monday was like last week. It was literally yesterday. But so this is what you want to see, and if you can catch it in a higher time frame like this, like what day was this? So yeah, this was 8 a.m. So why did it jump? Oh, I'm on the hour chart. I'm like, why did it jump so aggressive? Okay, so this is 8 a.m. So on the 1 hour, on the 1 minute chart on both of these, since we zoomed it backwards, it's not gonna take us right to where we were. This is why backtesting, when you backtest this way, which is the old school way people used to do it, is just not fun, because you have to like zoom back and like remember where you were when you drew the line, and it doesn't take you there. Okay, here we go. So once we swept, you're looking for a reversal at our macro session, which is 950. And this is why I started trading 950, because this is a prime example of why. 950 to 1010, because as a newbie, I don't know if y'all are newbies, I'm trying to have myself as safe as possible to not get faked out. This would have faked me out at 930, and then we got liquidity swept. Even though we kind of still got liquidity swept on here, we maybe would have had a tighter stop loss. Maybe it was inevitable. Like this, see how this lower low came down, but see how things can like go up your way, even though you're right in your bias. Come down, sweep your ass out, and then still go your way the rest of the day. And that's why I try to avoid that in this time frame, because in 9:30 it will do things, 8:30 it will do things, and it will come down in the macro, sweep you out, build some liquidity, and then run up the rest of the day. Okay, let's see what it looked like on NQ, because maybe NQ it was cleaner. And this is also why with S&P divergence, sometimes I don't have a stop loss, because it can, hold on y'all, sorry. Hi, gracias. Sorry y'all, that was Amazon. Sorry y'all. Got me some running socks from Amazon. Trying to find where we were. And this is how like old people used to be like, this is how you backtest. You go back and you look at things, but it takes so much time to like mark something and then go back to where it was on the chart. And this is why we just use FX replay. But I just like for S&T, like I don't know how to really see it in real time, so it's no point. So we'll do some forward replays and see if we can catch it. And that's just good practice for all of us. But I don't want to waste y'all's time trying to find S&T when I barely can myself. Okay, so on NQ, like I said, we didn't get the liquidity sweep. Make sure it's the same day. Oh, Thursday. Okay, so not the same day. Okay, Thursday. Okay, prime example of SMT. We got it on the higher time frame and the lower time frame. So in NQ, you'd have got in the trade, even if you got in at 9:30 or got in early, it didn't stop you out. So you would have not gotten stopped out. It would have came close to stopping you out and then ran your way. Versus ES, it would have stopped you out. And this is why I kind of stopped trading with a stop loss, because say it's opposite and NQ wants to be the one to take out liquidity and go higher, and ES has the S&P divergence. I kind of don't. It's scary without trading without a stop loss, but when you know S&T exists, this can happen. Because so say you're trading ES this day and you had a stop loss, you got stopped out and then it went your way. Versus if you knew S&T was a thing, you'd say, oh, NQ didn't make that lower low, NQ didn't stop me out, even though I traded ES. Boom. Or you would have just traded NQ that day. I just stick to one or the other. But you see how SMT can, like, and even vice versa. If say you're in the trade at 8:30 to the downside, or this trade to the downside, it didn't sweep liquidity, and you're holding your trade for it to sweep liquidity, but on ES it did, you should exit this trade and take your profits. Because that happened to me one time. I took a down trade, it almost came to my liquidity and reversed on my ass, and I looked on ES and ES swept liquidity, and I was like, that's when I started using S&T divergence, because it can tell you when to take profit, which is honestly the most important, in my opinion. Like, stop loss, whatever, but knowing when to exit a trade when you're in profit, a lot of money. What strategy do I use? I trade ICT. And I really am still figuring out my strategy, but it's mainly just reversals, and it's reversals during the 950 to 1010 macros off of ICG. That is my strategy. It's trading something like the candle close above a fair value gap like this. That is my strategy. Candle close, stop loss. See, we would have got stopped out on ES, and then take it to this liquidity point here, or this liquidity point here, and that is my trade for a nice 1 to 3.5, and you could take it higher. That's how I trade. So yeah, SMT, and this is how it can really help you. It is hard to catch, and it's something, I mean, it's not hard to catch, but you'll either get on the chart and you'll see it, but if it is playing out in real time for you, kind of like how this one did, it might have been harder to see. Like, because we're already on the chart looking for entries at 950 to 1010. It's so, especially as beginners, like I'm not getting on the chart like, oh, SMT. However, once I saw this on NQ and this on ES, I gotta be better at watching them both. And we closed above, and I saw the liquidity sweep on ES. I'm very confident we're running up, and it does run up beautifully. You see what I'm saying? So it's good to watch both if you can. And it's you know, it is what it is if you can't. And either way, an inverted fair value gap usually works 90% of the time anyway. But see, like there was one here, and this is what we're talking about. This one's at 9:30 though. But if you were like me at 9:30 on ES and caught this fair value gap earlier, and you got stopped out, you would have been mad. Versus if you wait at 9:50, it'll usually do it again. Like sometimes at 9:30 you'll get faked out. Like I said, it'll sweep you out and go your way. So that's why I switched to the 9:50, 9:10 macros, because it'll do all that at 9:30, and then it'll be ready to move in that macro hour. So it keeps me from just getting faked out and seeing an entry and taking it and riding it, and it even kept going higher to way up here if you want to take it up to there. So now we're so far behind. Okay, we're not that far behind. Let's see if we can catch some of these in real time on the 1 hour chart for a little bit, and then I'll be live trading in the morning. Hopefully we get a nice setup. Hopefully we get a nice reversal from that big ass fair value gap, 4 hour fair value gap we ran into today. That will be ideal for tomorrow, but who knows. Next New York session, and let's go back on the hour chart. Again, if you're new to my lives, I do or trade ICT concepts. And we're backtesting ICT concepts. We're honing in, we're getting better at them, and we're simplifying them kind of. But in a way, as in, you know, like you don't need to trade every model that he has. Okay, let's see if we have any. Let's zoom out. This is the day we were already on. We don't have. Okay, we have S&T right here. On ES, we did not sweep these highs. Obviously, this looks like London session, so I don't know who trades that. If you're in Europe or the UK, you probably trade that. This is overnight for us, but also 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. is a good reversal session, and that is this the same day? Oh, I lied. This is actually, no, this is our session. This is New York. Hold on. 7, 8, 9, 12. Yeah, okay, this is our session. S&T divergence right here. NQ, we swept that liquidity. ES, we did not, and then we reversed down from there. This wasn't that clean of a reversal though, so because I feel like it. Oh no, yeah, it was in London and Asian session. So this was a New York session. We got a nice reversal. So this is what we would have traded, but you see how S&T it broke higher on NQ, and then it did not on ES. So signs of a reversal. And that's why it's choppy like this, because it's an overnight session. New trader and new follower, thank you for doing live back testing, helps learning. Of course, that's why I'm here, and it's honestly to hold myself accountable too. I need to be doing this anyway. Doing it with y'all is fun, and it helps me explain things and learn them myself and understand them and reiterate them myself. So yeah, SMT, this is what it looks like. And it reverses from there. And the one that doesn't take out the lower, that doesn't have the liquidity sweep, is usually the stronger one, they say. I feel like if you liquidity sweep, it's stronger, but it really depends on the move sometimes. Because you want a lower low if you're going to reverse, technically. So yes, this is a stronger one. So you would technically trade ES that day and not NQ, or like I said, we just trade whatever one we like and we just watch both. So a good sign of S&T. Let's see. I think we even have another one here. We have a lower low. It's just an S&T as day here. But then on ES, we took it out. So ES said, oh, I missed this liquidity sweep, but I'm going to take out this one. And NQ said, I got this one, and I'm not going to take out that one. So yeah, strong signs of reversal all here. Two S&Ts, I've never seen two S&Ts this close together like this. But good signs of reversal with S&T, and you can literally just trade S&T, especially of ES. This is a beautiful turtle soup. This is not that beautiful of a turtle soup, because this candle closed, and then you got in, I mean, you just probably would have gotten after this wick, but you could easily have gotten in like right when it crosses this. You would have a fat stop loss versus like this, you would have the tiniest stop loss. So turtle soup is hard, but it feels good if you can catch a turtle soup, which is turtle soup is just a sniper entry off of a liquidity point you know it's going to reverse from, and you just get in as soon as you get in the sell as soon as it breaks above this. That's turtle soup. Like no market structure shift, no displacement to the downside. You just know right when we break this high, we're reversing. And you get in the sell, and that is what we call turtle soup in ICT concepts. And it's just a beautiful, like, fat risk to reward ass trade, and it's sniper entry there. All right, let's go to the next day and see. I mean, I don't think we're gonna have S&T divergence on the next day. How we had two so close together on this day, but let's see. Well, let's just see if we have any on this leg. I don't think we have any on this leg. No, lower low, lower low. No S&T. So let's go to the next New York session. We're both going down. Do we sweep anything on the far end? Okay, no. See, this is what it usually looks like. You see how they're sister pairs. So you see how they like match on the chart, like, you know, we're below this liquidity point on ES, we're below it on NQ, we have this one to go to on NQ, we have this one to go to on ES. Like, you just want them to match, you know what I'm saying? Then we have another one right below, like, you just want them to match. And they usually do. And then, okay, here's another S&T. So on ES, we swept this low here. On NQ, we did not sweep that low. We did not. You see what it looks like now? One sweeps and the other one does not. The other one makes a higher high, and that is a clear sign for a what? Reversal. And what does it do immediately after this? It goes right up in the opposite direction. It just reverses from there. That's it. You really can just trade S&T. It's hard. It's not hard to catch. It's just sometimes it's like there's more shit going on than focusing on S&T, in my opinion. But if you can see it in real time like yesterday and catch it, you won't get faked out like I did yesterday. You'll know, like, we're going up. That's what I was hoping for today, and that's why my bias was bearish today until we got that candle close above on ES, because NQ had already swept the hourly liquidity and ES had not. So it was giving S&T for like an hour, and then finally AS pushed above. And then I knew then we're going up the rest of the day. And that's just how you can just use that to help frame your bias. Like, oh, is this our session? This is our session. So you love when it happens in our session. And you can trade off this. You can catch a trade and you can honestly take it liquidity to this liquidity for a nice trade here. And then on ES, same thing. Take it up to that news candle. Okay, this is the 8:30 news candle, or no, 10 o'clock news candle. So yeah, 10. So right at the end of our macros was the reversal. A little bit after our entry time frame, but you know, it is what it is. Or you could have took this down candle, but I feel like that happened at 9:30. And then that's what I like about the macros as well, because this 9:30 move is a good move. You can trade that, but we don't even care about that, because usually the macro trade is the trade of the day. So this is a beautiful trade. Liquidity sweep on the upside, wick down. Again, this is the hour candle, so that's why I'm showing you. Like, you on the 1 minute, you'll see an entry. Like, this is not giving you an entry. But then we took this off the S&T, and this trade ran up the rest of the fucking day. And this is what I want to catch. I want to catch the trade of the day. I caught it today. I didn't play it because I was a little scared. But I don't want to catch. I used to just catch any small move, which, you know, is fair. But I feel like I was getting faked out on these a little too much for me. I'd rather just sit in a macro and take a trade and it just go that direction the rest of the day. Like a nice power of 3. ICT power of 3, which is another term that you'll learn later on. You don't really need it to trade as well, because people love talking about the power of 3, because basically it's every candle has a wick on both sides. So if you want a power of 3 means it'll go up first. So you want to catch a sell in here. It'll go down for the big move of the candle, and then it will come up a little bit at the end, which is the wick on the bottom. So on the daily, you want to catch the power of 3. So if you're bearish on the day, you want to catch above a certain point. If you're bullish on the day, you want to catch below a certain point. But I don't like trading power of 3 on the daily, because we trade New York session, which is 8 a.m. and the candle starts at midnight. So it could do all that power of 3 shit before we even get on the chart. That's how. That's why I don't do power of 3 on the daily, because like this, it already. It already started above, it ran down, and we caught the move. So this was a green candle technically. But like, this is still a big move. This down, like, I don't give a fuck if, you know what I'm saying? Like, technically, yes, if the market opens somewhere up here at midnight, you want to catch a sell below it. But obviously, you're going to catch a sell below it because it ran down in this session. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a weird Power of 3 on the daily, I don't like. However, power of 3 like this on the hourly or the 4 hour, I try to catch. So I want to catch the bottom of a move, and then I want it to run up the rest of the day, and I want to catch it here somewhere for the majority of the hour or the 2 hour or whatever, and then sell it, and then it might come back down. You see how the candle will close? It'll run up, and then it'll close a little bit. So on the 4 hour, this is the wick, and this is the wick, and then this is the body of the 4 hour candle. So that's what I try to catch. Just the big move in the New York session. Anything that happens before me, after me, I really don't care. I don't. That's why I don't like trading the daily. I don't like looking at the weekly chart because that has nothing to do with me. People like to say, well, if you know the weekly is going down or bearish on the week, you know, you can trade. That has nothing to do with me because it can go down in every PM session. And I don't even trade PM session. And it goes up every AM session on the weekly. That's what I'm trading, the AM session. So, like, I don't really like to go on the bias of that. But this SMT is beautiful. This trade was great if you take it. I'm never going to shit on a trade. And I kind of mark lately we've been having good 9:30 trades. So I've been marking them when I get on at 9:45. And sometimes the entry is at 9:45 on my live if you want to take it. But then I want to take this big one. I want this big kahuna, which is twice the size of that 9:30 trade. Which this 9:30 trade is a fat trade. But I want to take this 9:50 to noon big trade of the day. This is what I want to take. Even though now that we're on the hourly chart, these are like 5 days apart, so don't even listen to me. This actually was the biggest trade of the day. And then this trade was good, but it didn't come up higher. And this is actually another day. This is another New York session. And this is Asian and low. So, but on the 1 minute, if it looks like this, or the 5 minute, you know, you want the big trade of the day. This is what you want versus this. And even the up trade of the few days is still bigger than this big rundown. So you don't ever have to be scared about missing a big rundown or a big run up because another bigger one is coming most of the time. So let's see if we can find another S&T. But do y'all see S&Ts? Do y'all understand what they are? If not, there's a bunch of ICT videos on them. And you see how they help with reversals. They really show you that the market is going to reverse. You don't even really need any market experience. I mean, you do need market experience, but you don't need any confluences. I feel like you can literally just trade S&T if you want. And people do often. I don't trade S&T only. I have a few times, but let's see. Okay, we don't have S&T, but it does look a little different, but not crazy different. So let's go to another New York session. Okay, we're still going down. My mom is always calling me while we're streaming every time. And they know when I stream, I tell them now, but it's okay. We'll do like 10 more minutes and I'll call her back. Okay, wick. You see how everything looks the same? Lower, we're making lower highs. We're wicking below stuff. Like this is what you want them to do. You want them to look the same. I'm trying to see if we have any S&T on, if we zoom out. Okay, this is what I'm talking about, like kind of what happened today. This is technically S&T, but the day has to play out. So NQ again has not swept this liquidity yet. You see, it has not swept down to this low yet. It has to come down, you know, a little more. You see what I'm saying? But on ES, it has, and I don't like when it's like this on a day where we're getting on the charts, kind of like today, because it has time to do that. Like I thought we had S&T today, but it did help my bias. Like I said, once we broke out of the S&T, like once NQ comes and takes this orange line, even if ES is, you know, way down here, you're still buying sells. You're still looking for downs. It's not reversing. However, if Both of these start to reverse from here. You're looking for an entry off of like this fair value gap. You see what I'm saying? Like you can wait for it, and it can finally, like, the SMT can go away. Like it can come down in that session and still keep going down to take it out. So that's why SMT in real time, I don't really like it, but it can help frame your bias. And then once you candle close below this, keep going lower, then you'll just know, like, hey, we're going lower, we're getting some sells. But as of now, this is prime SMT. ES made a lower low, and ES swept this liquidity too. And on NQ, that liquidity is way down here. So it might not sweep it, but I've seen it. It'll like do this for an hour, and then we'll be up the chart maybe, and then like in the lunch session, NQ will be down here, and then it'll run down the rest of the day. But how do you buy sells? You just purchase sells. You hit a sell market or a buy market. I can show you what it looks like on TradingView. I haven't traded on TradingView in so long, but trade, create new. Oh, well, I do have an old broker. No, it's not what I want to do. Hold on. Here we go. Okay. Let's do just TradingView paper trading. Usually you can just click it and it lets you do it. Oh, there we go. Connect. I do have a broker I can log into though. Okay, it gives you $100,000. People, that's paper traders, they just love that $100,000 mark. Okay. Then you would go. It's loading. You can right click, or you can put in your you can have your trading panel to the side, like, come on, trade, okay. Create new order, and then you can move it to the side. You just hit buy or sell, and that's it. And then with futures, it's just 1 contract, 2 contracts, 3 contracts. And then with TradingView, you could do stop loss, take profit, and then it shows you how much you'd make. So you're risking $12 to make $37. 25 ticks to 75 ticks. You can do it by ticks. You can do it by price. You can do it by percentage, like 1% to make 4%. You can do it by money. And then, yeah, you can go if you're doing like 3 contracts, micro contracts, and you can do that. And then you can do a limit order, which means at a certain price, that's where you want to enter. Market will enter wherever the price is at right now, and the stop is when it gets to a certain point. Hey girlie, when it comes to looking at the charts, it's the same for Forex, futures, options, Forex. Exactly, yes. So when it comes to trading, you just learn how to trade. If it's options, you want to learn how to trade. If it's Forex, if it's futures, and then you can use them on all 3. Especially, so that's the good thing about trading. Obviously, the execution of like how to buy and purchase will be a little different, but just learn how to trade on the chart, and you can do it for all 3. So once you learn how to trade, you're golden. Do I trade ICT concepts? Yes, I trade ICT concepts. That is how I trade. That makes sense to me. And yeah, I mean, we can backtest some other concepts too. I don't mind. I don't like other concepts besides EMAs, moving averages, and trend lines. So I can backtest those. If I wasn't trading ICT, those would be the retail I'm trading. But yeah, you can trade anything, and you can learn on anything, and then you can execute it on all. They all move the same for the most part. But yeah, that's how you trade. You just buy, and then you can move. You can dock, yeah, you can dock this to the right when you trade on TradingView, and then you can just leave it to the side like this. So you can just always have it ready to execute a trade for you. What strategy do you use? I trade the 950 to 1010 macro reversals, and I use inverted fair value gaps. That's how I trade. So I wait for the 930 candle and then market open to do its thing, do its business, and then I wait for, I mean, today this was the reversal right here, and I called this on live. I didn't take it because of the choppiness that happened before, but I did call this trade, and it was the trade of the day. So I'm sure people in my live made some money today. That's a fat ass trade. But my bias was a little bearish, and that's why I try not to go in with the bias, because when I go in with the bias, I don't want to trade anything else. And I don't like that, because I'm mad at myself for not taking this trade. However, this mess is a reason why a lot of people didn't take this trade. A lot of gurus did not trade today either. So that did make me feel good that no one, all the $1 million traders, like no one took trades today, except for maybe like one person. I don't know why I felt like charts were a little different from each. Okay, so they are a little different. Like, I hate the SPX Forex chart. I think it's either SP 500 or it's SPX Oanda. No, yes, Oanda. So Oanda, the swing highs, it looks very like blocky, and a lot of the swing highs to me aren't as clear as they are on futures charts. So when I was trading Forex, I used this chart at first, and then I just start using the futures charts. And most people do. Most people, even when they trade options, they trade the futures charts. Because, like, I don't even know. I mean, this isn't as bad as it was in the past. Like, this is really clear. But London and Asian session, why are you doing this when on a futures chart, London and Asian session looks clear? And Forex, you can trade Forex 24/7. So I actually don't know why the chart is this blocky on the Asian session. With Forex, you can trade Asian session. Now, if this was an options chart, like the SPY chart, it's going to be blocky like this after the stock market is closed, because it's a stock market, it's not open. You can't trade options or stocks 24/7. So it's going to be gaps, it's going to be spaces overnight. So that's not weird. You just don't want spaces in the time it's open. But Forex and futures are 24/7, so there should not be spaces like this. So that's why it's kind of weird that there's spaces. And that's why the charts do look different, but the way you trade is the same. You'll still trade liquidity sweeps, you'll still trade trend lines. Whatever you trade, you'll trade the same on Forex, you'll trade the same on futures, you'll trade the same on options. You see how much clearer this futures chart is? Same time frame. Same time frame. You could have took a trade off this, but on that Forex chart, I don't know what the fuck that was. No trades for me either. Yeah, today just wasn't a day for trading. And LSFX is a very good trader, y'all, so y'all should follow them. I don't know what their gender is, but I think it's a man. But great trades, great ICT trader, and trades gold. So if you don't want to trade the indices and trade gold, follow LSFX. And the fact that they didn't take a trade today also makes me feel good. And calling that trade made me feel good. So it was a good day, and I was very patient. It's better than a loss. So yeah, that's how you execute your trades. You can do lot sizes. That's the only thing about futures too. With options and Forex, I think you can manage your lot sizes and your positions a lot better. You can size up and size down easier. You can do like half lots and 0.5 lots and all this shit in Forex. But with futures, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like there's no 1.5. There's no. So if one NQ contract is too big for you or too small for you, like that's the smallest you can use. Then you go to the micros, and if the micro is too big for you, which it can be, I trade just the micros, and sometimes the moves are big even when I lose. It's more than I want to risk, and that's just the smallest I can trade it with. So I have to go either paper trade, go to ES, or go back to options or whatever. But it is what it is. You gotta pay to play and can't be scared to play when you come to the futures world. But yeah, how are y'all feeling? I'm feeling like we can come back tomorrow. I'll be trading in the morning at 9:45 in the macros. What's the plan for CPI? I trade the macros at 9:50 to 10:10, so I don't care about CPI. I really just react off of it. And that's the good part about trading. I used to trade at 8:30, but if you trade, I would trade obviously after 8:30, but you just, the news will happen before you get on the chart, so it doesn't even matter. Like today, what was new? The news candle it was really an indecisive ass candle today. This was the news candle today, and that had nothing to do with me. That was 8:30, and I got on the charts up here. So it actually worked out. If you got in that news, we had an hour for value gap, and then once we closed above it, which was around like here, you could have gotten in early on the buys. But yeah, I love trading news days. More volatility, and usually, hopefully, I love for it to either come in for value gap like this, I love for it to either close below it and run down the rest of the day, or with a big fat news candle, it would just come sweep the sell side and go higher. That's usually just one of those three things that happens during news. So, and that's why now I trade the macros, because news, I don't really care about news. And then when whatever the PM news is that people love, I forgot what it is, but it doesn't affect me either. And also news, like Justin, if you follow Justin Wheeler, we talk about him on this channel, Tactical Traders, he's like, I love news. It just does what the market's going to do with more volatility. I'm like, yeah, same. You don't never trade the news candle. That's gambling. Like, when people say don't trade news days, you don't have to not trade news days. But don't trade the news candle. Like, don't get on at 8:20 5 and be in a buy or a sell when this candle happens, because this candle could have easily went up and stopped you out down and like liquidated your ass. You want to let the news candle play out at 8:30, and then you can still trade after that, but don't gamble the news candle. Now, I have seen people talking about a funded strategy where, I mean, this wouldn't have done anything for you today with this shitty ass candle, but they put limit orders to go down at a certain point, and then they put another limit order to go up at a certain point, and then so you'll win either way. You just make sure you close the trade out in time. I've never done it. I think it could be smart, but sometimes news is so fucking fast. I accidentally didn't check news one morning when I was trading at 8:30, and a news candle just fucking gave me the biggest heart attack of my life. And I had a stop loss, but for some reason the news was so strong, it just fucking, my stop loss the broker didn't even register my stop loss. It was on TradingView, actually. I think that was the last day I traded on TradingView. I had a stop loss, and news just went up. It went up to like here, so I was negative like 1,000 or something, and then it went my way like $10,000. So I was like kind of mad I closed it. Like, I closed it just in case it ran up and I was negative $10,000, but it wound up just going really high and then going my way a lot, and it was not fun. But some people gamble those, but that's why if you trade at 8:30, you always check news. I still check news every morning before I get on the charts, but I don't really have to, because news is like an hour before I get on the chart. The market should already know what it's doing before I get on the chart, and that's why I stick to trading the macros now. I want to get on the chart, and the market is settled. She's calm. She's just, doing her thing. I don't need to be on with news. I don't like to be in a trade. And sometimes, 10 o'clock news, I used to get faked out by 10 o'clock news sometimes. It's rare, because 10 o'clock news usually doesn't do shit. But every now and then, it's going to go your way. I've never had 10 o'clock news, like, disrespect my order. But say I'm in a trade like this, 10 o'clock news will come, stop my ass out, and then go my way. It happens rarely, but it would. So now that I trade the 950, 1010 macros, I can just wait for a trade after 10 o'clock news, which I like. When you check news, what do you usually look for? You just go to Forex Factory. I could just do it on here. You just use Forex Factory, not like real news. Like, a lot of options traders might check real news, but yeah, you just go to Forex Factory. I trade indices, so I set it to only U.S. and only red and orange folder news. That's it. So if you trade, I used to trade like JPY USD, and I traded Forex, so you'd mark JPY and USD, you know what I'm saying? If you do like, JPB USD for Forex, you need to mark, all the countries that you trade Forex with or American stocks with. So I trade, the indices, which are based in the U.S. So then tomorrow we have core PPI tomorrow at 8:30, which is a big news day. So let's see. I'm hoping for a fat candle with a fat fair value gap, and then we disrespect it and run down or run up the rest of the day. That's what I'm hoping for. If you trade options, I feel like you don't really need to. You could check news in case there's 10 o'clock news, though. Some days there's red folder 10 o'clock news. And if you trade options all day, there is sometimes Powell. I think it's Powell. Powell is afternoon news at 2 p.m. So you should check this every day, but it won't really matter. And or on options, you'll get on the chart, because most of them are at 8:30. you'll see the candle. Like the candle will either look really crazy, or it'll look just like this, where it's like kind of crazy, but it didn't really do much. Or you'll get like a huge news candle. Like, I'm gonna see if we got a huge news candle one of these days. I mean, sometimes the news candles are like insane. Like this one. Like this is a huge news candle. Same shit that happened today though. Just came back into it and went higher. But that's bigger than the one today. I mean, there's some that are like long wicks here and here in the smallest body. Like you can see it. It looks like a crazy candle for sure. You'll be able to tell if there's news, or you just get on and you just check it for 2 seconds and you say, oh, there's news today, and then you just go trade options. But you, like I said, if you trade at 9:30, you don't really need it. And I know a lot of options traders, most of them don't even trade the first 15 minutes of the stock market open anyway. Because of that, they want to let news play out. So I don't think it really affects. Also depends on what you trade. I don't know if it really affects like Nvidia and AMD, but I'm sure it affects SPY, QQQ, and probably Apple and Tesla and Amazon. Who the fuck trade options? A lot of people trade options, especially a lot of black people. A lot of black people trade options. They love it. We love it. I trade options. I started with options. Options is the shit. What you mean? Especially people who don't trade prop firms. If you don't trade prop firms, you just might as well be trading options. I'm sorry. In my opinion, time decay does suck. I'll give y'all the Greek suck, but options, you can really flip some bags. And there's really cheap options. Like, I have people who are like, I'm gonna start trading with $5, and everyone's like, you can't do that. All the futures traders are forex traders. Yes, you can. With options, you can trade with $5 That's the best part about it. You can trade options with not $2. I think $5 might be the least you can do. But with options, you can trade with little money, and that is something that none of these other markets will give you. And I love that about options. Forex maybe will if you get a scammy ass broker, but that's your own risk to reward. I'm not messing with those. But I've seen those, and if I had to pick one, I was going to use Henkel Trade, but I never got to that point because I'm scary like that. Versus all options brokers are regulated, and you can really flip a bag. There's a lot of people. Let's see. Let's go on Twitter. Sorry, YouTube, you cannot see my Twitter. Not Hulu. Hulu always
Fences
playing shit without me hitting the play button. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of girls who trade options I follow on Twitter too, so y'all should follow them. Like this, 2.1K on SPX calls she did today. $2,000 on options calls. Who else? I mean, I feel like I follow them. Let's go to my profile. There's a bunch of them, and there's this one girl who's really good for Bree. There's a girl on here who she trades out of the money options only, which are really hard to master. Another options trader, and she can turn like $100 into like 20K. Swear to God, like this girl, get money, buy income. This bitch is a fucking master. Out of the money options are really dangerous. So like I started trading out of the money options, and I tried to trade within the money, or right at the money, not in the money, but right at the money. That was my sweet spot. But you see, she turned 1,700% return, not 170% return, 1,790% return, 11 grand on 6 contracts. You see what I'm saying? Like, I love futures, but you cannot do shit like that with futures. You can get good high risk rewards though. And another girl on here, she just switched from options to futures. Actually, she really likes it better. This girl turned 225 to 10K. She be gambling, but with options, it's not really gambling, but you can gamble because they're so cheap. Like, you can get cheap options and just hold them, versus like with Forex and futures, you have to have a stop loss, or it can infinitely go against you and liquidate you. Versus options, you only lose the money you pay for your contracts. So you don't even need a stop loss. You can just buy like 5 contracts at $50 each, and then just see what they do. That's the best part about options. versus futures. You can't just buy a futures contract and not have a stop loss and just see what it does. You can't do that. You have to have a stop loss or sit on the chart and liquidate it. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. Options, the time decay, people don't like it. It's a billion fucking contracts to choose from. It's not as easy just buy or sell. So I do understand that. But as far as like the money in your pocket to the money you can make, it takes the cake on anything else. It really does. I love options for that reason. And I probably would go back to trading options with my own money, and I might just trade prop firms with futures. We'll see. I haven't decided yet because I've gotten used to futures trading and I do like it, but it is what it is. But yeah, I'll see you on the morning. 9:45 a.m. Eastern. We're gonna be live trading, and then we'll be back testing again tomorrow. We'll back test something else tomorrow, like maybe like EMAs, or trend lines. We'll see how they line up with the ICT concepts for those who want to trade something else. But yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow in the morning or at night. I've been